All right, so we're gonna take a look at our lesson for today in A Course in Miracles. That is lesson number 34. Lesson number 34, and again, just kind of a quick review of what we've talked about so far. In the last week, we talked about above all else, I want to see things differently. God is in everything I see, and then we ended last week with God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. So it's that whole idea that, and that kind of opened up that whole conversation around there's an outer world and an inner world in the way we think or look at things, yet the inner world controls the outer. And so it's really about what's happening inside is what impacts our outside. They're not mutually separate. And so starting to really look at that this week with the lessons as well. And that was with Monday's lessons that I'm not a victim of the world I see. Tuesday we said we have invented the world we see, right? That's that inner world. We created it. We create what we see. And one of the conversations talked about the fact that our eyes don't see, our eyes create images. And that's what we believe to be what we see. And this is about now getting to the spot where we can truly see, and not let our egoistic mind control what we see and how we react and how we act in the world. And that's really part of getting to that ultimate goal of peacefulness, fulfillment, living out your full life's calling, that idea. And then yesterday we talked about there's another way of looking at the world, and that was our lesson 33. And so I'm kind of curious at lesson 33. I'm going to jump back into my notes for a second because there were a couple things that I was curious if anything happened for you. Did anyone have an experience as you did this lesson about there's another way of looking at the world? Anything happening for you? I know, Barb, you had mentioned that, in the book you're reading, there's a message about gratitude that maybe you've heard before. Are you seeing anything else like that? And this is not just to Barb, to everybody, where there's some alignment starting to show up based on some of the work you're doing here.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it's all kind of coming together. And I think, what they say, like what you focus on expands. So we've been focusing on this and it's just becoming more top of mind and it's changing the way, I interact and everything.
So, it's interesting, isn't it? You had mentioned, Barb, that, you've been hearing kind of a same thing over and over again. And we all experience that at times in our lives. Like someone will, well, I'll tell you, it's how I got to Haiti to start doing mission work back in 2010. I had an agent in my Bold class in Minneapolis who came to talk to me about Haiti. This was right after the big earthquake in 2010, and I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. I've got a lot going on. I'm just learning how to do this Bold thing. It's awesome that you're doing it. Good for you. That was kind of what I did to her. And then, 2 months later, I'm in Boston, and I have someone else come talk to me about Haiti, and I'm going, okay. That was at a point where I started paying more attention to those messages. Because I always think of when I hear it more than once in a short period of time, that's the message I'm supposed to hear. And not only supposed to hear, take action on. And so that's really what I think you've described, Barb, in that too. And so that's that awareness is such a key piece of this. Now, it's tough to have that awareness when there's a lot of noise around it. And so that's really what these lessons should be helping us with, is quiet the noise so that we're actually clear about what it is we say we want in our lives, right, and the impact that we can have from that. So today's lesson takes us just further into that. Let's see, that was 33. Let's go to 34 then. So 34, I could see peace instead of this. So is that interesting? So lesson 33 was there's another way of looking at the world. Lesson 34 is I could see peace instead of this. So whatever this is. So the text reads like this. It says, the idea for today that I could see peace instead of this begins to describe the conditions that prevail in the other way of seeing. Let me say it correct. The conditions that prevail in the other way of seeing, which would be to utilize inner vision that aligns with truth. So peace of mind is clearly an internal matter. Peace of mind is clearly an internal matter. Peace of mind must begin with your own thoughts, and then peace will extend outward. It is from your peace of mind that a peaceful perception of the world arises. So 3 longer practice periods for this lesson, this exercise. So the last couple of days we've been doing 2 longer. Now it's 3. 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening is what they're advising, with an additional 1 to be undertaken at any time in between that seems most conducive to you being ready for it. All applications should be done with your eyes closed. Today everything is eyes closed. It's your inner world to which the application applies today. And that is that I could see peace instead of this, and that's where you should take it from, is your inner world. So some 5 minutes of mind searching are required for each of the longer practice periods. Search your mind for fear thoughts, anxiety-provoking situations, offending personalities or events, or anything else which you are harboring unloving thoughts about. Note these fearful and unloving thoughts all casually, note them all casually, and repeating the idea for today that I could see peace instead of this. So that in that time that you set aside to work on this and to go inward, start searching for those things that make you feel uneasy, and then the lesson is to say, I could see peace instead of this. I could see peace instead of whatever this is. It goes on to say this. So when you do that, repeating the idea for today that I could see peace instead of this, slowly as you watch these fearful and unloving thoughts arise in your mind, and let each unloving thought go, to be replaced by the next unloving thought. So whatever comes up, say I could see peace instead of this, let that go. And then wait, whatever the next thing is, do the same thing. I could see peace instead of this, and let that go. So the shorter applications are to be frequent and made whenever you feel your peace of mind is threatened in any way. So throughout the day, as your peace of mind might be threatened, do the shorter ones. And the purpose of the shorter application is to protect yourself from temptation throughout the day. If a specific form of temptation arises in your awareness, the exercise should take the form of this, where you would say, I could see peace in this situation instead of what I now see in this situation. So instead of saying I could see peace instead of this, say I could see peace in this event or this situation instead of what I now see in that event. If the inroads on your peace of mind take the form of more generalized adverse emotions, such as depression, anxiety, or worry, use the idea that I could see peace instead of this in its original form. So just go to that. If you find you need more help than one application of today's idea to help you change your mind in any specific context, try to take several minutes and devote these minutes to repeating the idea that I could see peace instead of this, until you feel some sense of relief. It will help you if you tell yourself specifically this next phrase. I can replace my feelings of depression, anxiety, or worry, or whatever else is creating that anxiousness, with peace. I could replace this with peace. I could replace this with peace. I could replace this with peace. That's it. Now that's the tool. Now, A Course in Miracles says this: if you want peace in this world, you've got to be peace. So that's why it's an internal job. So it says that if you want love, then you've got to be love. It's an internal job. Mahatma Gandhi probably said it best. He said, be the change you wish to see in the world. So it starts with us. Now, peace of mind is an internal matter. Peace must begin with your own thoughts and then extend outward. From your own peaceful mind, you will create a peaceful world for yourself. That's first and foremost. It has to start there. Now, it is possible to be in a peaceful world and yet live on a warring planet. We say that again. It's possible to live in a peaceful world yet live on a warring planet. Your private world of individuated perception will be a reflection of your inner belief system. When you choose to follow a fear-based thought system rooted in the belief of lack, limitation, struggle, and separation, you will perceive a world of conflict and fear. What you focus on expands. Choose instead a thought system based on love and forgiveness, and you will see a world of mercy, caring, and peace. So if your experiences are full of conflict, struggle, and strife, first examine your own thoughts before you believe something outside of you is the cause for your own loss of inner peace. Your thoughts raised to the level of beliefs determine how you will color your world. You may not believe that you are in total control of all the circumstances in your life, but you are in control of the interpretation, purpose, and the meaning that you give to those events. It is your interpretation of those events that will resonate within your mind and manifest outwardly as your story of your unique world of provisional reality. I love that statement at the end about, I mean, it really is, it's our choice, right? You can be victim, you can be a victim, you can say it's not my fault, it's somebody else's, or you can be accountable. That's one of our 6 personal perspectives that we always teach within Keller Williams. Yeah, also be to achieve, absolutely. It's one of the constructs of one of our bold laws. So what are your thoughts or comments or questions about today's exercise? About my mind is up, wait, no, that's tomorrow. I'm sorry, that's number 35. I had that in front of me. So I can see peace in, what was it again? I just forgot what it was.
I could see peace instead of this.
I could see peace instead of this. Yes, thank you, Nancy. I've got to get this in my head because, I think about it throughout the day, like the little lessons. This could be the affirmation I tie to those, couldn't it? Like whenever I find something that's going to get me hooked a little bit, I could go, okay, I could see peace instead of this. I could see peace instead of this, and then just choose that. So thank you, Nancy. Any thoughts or questions?
I do find that, especially in the more recent ones, that if I don't plan or or don't think to actually sit down and do the exercise properly throughout the day, having the phrasing, it'll pop into my head like an affirmation will.
Yes.
Or if I'm in the middle of something else where I know it applies, it's grounding. So I've really been appreciating that.
Well, I love, and that's really, I think, where the power in this lies post each day's lesson, right? So the more we start internalizing the ones that really resonated with us, the more we've got those as tools when we need them. And that's what I look at it as a tool. To that note, I always take the lesson and I put it on my calendar on my phone and I put an alert to it so it pops up. And so I do the same with my morning affirmations, and I do the same with my my mission and vision statement that pops up every day, and I have to do something with it. So it's just one way that I've utilized technology to help me stay in the dialogue with this. So,
I like
that's
that.
good. That's good. Anything else? All right, guys.
Don't forget to mention the phone alerts, like if you ever teach this again, day 1. I think that would have been helpful in me staying on top of it.
I know, it just dawned on me. I it's so funny, Nancy. I talk about a lot of these all over the place. I never remember where I say what, and so that's I've got to get better at that. You're right. So it's never too late, though. You could start it today, and you all know how to do that, right? Like I use Google Calendar, and you just create an alert, and then I just make like the stuff that's every day. It's a recurring event. So yeah, it's just a way to make sure it happens. And Drew, yes, you always have a choice to decide how you react. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, knowing that most of us have been conditioned to react negatively, this is a change for many of us. So I love that you share that. All right, guys. Well, you have an awesome day. A lot of great training going on. So take part in everything you can and get out there and talk to some people and make a difference in their lives as well. So I appreciate that you're here. I love that you're still here in this conversation with me. We are a tenth of the way through. Ha! It's a 365. So yeah, almost a tenth. All right, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.